Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you are doing well, and today I'm going to be starting a series on the channel where I go through some Myo Mashup Deck Profiles. So these are all some constructed decks that you guys can try out, and with the tournament coming up, I wanted to give you guys some inspiration if you're still struggling to come up with what you want to build for the tournament. So this deck is called the Wall of Cores. It is, as you might kind of guess from the name, it is built around one of the new cards from the Community Appreciation Pack. It is Raynus, Defender of the Core, and your goal of this deck is to simply ramp up, get drawn to Raynus, get him out there, and focus on him to take out your opponent and win the game. And so, of course, this deck is naturally going to play 3 copies of this card, Raynus, Defender of the Core. He's a knight hero that costs 8, 7 attack, 7 defense. He has some pretty useful abilities. Overrun, which allows him to, whenever he attacks and ties, he wins instead, which is great because often he's going to be the only character we have on the field, and if he happens to ram into an opposing character who has the same defense as his attack at the time, he'll be able to stick on the field while destroying that character. It's pretty nice to have. And should he go down in battle, you has the other auto ability where he can just destroy target character. Definitely makes your opponent think twice before swinging into him, and also forces them to have their own action card to try to remove it. The rest of the deck is meant to play support to try to get him out. 3 copies of Delta Warrior Gale, which allows us to look at the top 5 cards of our deck and grab a hero from among them. And with Raynus being a hero, this can help get him out easier. Also have 3 copies of Delta Warrior Flora Sky, who can help us look at the top card of a deck, and we can either add it to our hand or put it into our resource zone as a PowerPoint token. So this can help either allow us to play Raynus faster, or it can help fuel our hand a little bit, because if that top card happens to be Raynus, we can immediately get that into our hand, but if it's not, or it's something we can't really use, we can just ramp ourselves a little bit more. It's pretty nice. And those 3 are the only characters played in this deck. The rest of this deck is more consistency to help us get our game plan going, as well as a bunch of stuff used to protect and revive Raynus himself. So Call of the Heroes, run 2 copies of this. It's a normal action that lets us grab up to 2 different hero characters from our deck to put into our hand. It's the quickest way to get Raynus into our hand if we don't have him by this time. Also, Jake's Net Search. We could play Super Coin, but I like this one a little bit more, even though it's a little more costly. Getting to look at the top 6 cards of our deck and picking the best 2, I think is a little bit more useful, especially since our game plan revolves around getting one character onto the field. Our deck is a little bit character light, so having 3 copies of Heroic Assembly is nice to have just to get more characters onto the board. And these hero characters also have assist, which is useful to help power up Raynus himself or any of our other heroes that we want to attack with. They can even power each other up if you want to go that route. As for the other options, of course, we're running 3 copies of Steady Shot to just remove a problematic character from the field. It's always good to have a card like this. 3 Revival Rays allows us to return any of our characters from our discard to our hand, so if our Raynus gets destroyed, we can just play this, get him back. That's simple. 2 copies of Fix It. We're also running some modifier relics in here, so this can help us get those back, but I've only got 2 of them since I've got quite a few relics here that are mainly used to boost Raynus' offense and make him more powerful. Essence of the Stars is the better of the 2, allowing him to get +4/+4, but in a pinch, Gun Booster will get the job done as well. This is just a +3 attack for 2 power. Definitely nice to have sometimes. The other 3 cards are useful for protection. Reflex Guard to negate an opposing attack against our Raynus if we want to keep him on the board for whatever reason, or any of our other characters to protect them as well. Coach's Challenge can prevent if our opponent tries to use an action card to remove Raynus, we can just play a Coach's Challenge to say no to that. And also redirects a fun one. Suppose they try to attack Raynus. This allows us to change the target of that attack to something else. We can even use this to have our opponent target one of their other characters with attacks, so definitely a useful card there. Now I want to go over the side deck here a little bit. Most of this is just other options you could run in this deck. I wanted to go over a couple of other options. There are some other cards similar to Raynus you could definitely play if you wanted to build other versions of this deck. Delta Warrior Monty is a fun one. Doesn't have a high amount of attack, but he does have a good ability where when he does attack, he gets taunt, so it draws attacks to him, so he can be interesting to build around. You've also got Unstoppable Mutant, also from the Community Appreciation Pack, who's probably one of the more powerful cards in Myo Mashup currently, especially since it has that powerful line of text where you cannot be affected by your opponent's action cards. He's a very hard card to get rid of, though he does cost 10, so that's something to keep in mind. Other options for our deck, Enoch is kind of useful. It can slow our opponents down while we get our game plan up and running. It's going to take a while, so increase the cost of our opponent's actions is very nice to have in the early game. Lock is also pretty good, can help us get most of the cards back, especially important ones like Revive Ray or any of our protection actions. Other defensive cards you could consider including a Big and Tall, who has taunt and can deal damage if he gets destroyed, or Shield Wall, which has more defense, and if he gets destroyed, you can draw a card from him. Since we're playing a light hero package, Shirk Deo is useful here as well. You play him, you'll deal some damage. You can also buff Raynus or other heroes. And on that similar vein, we've got Will the Wonder Kid as well. You can play him to gain some life and allows him, or whenever one of our other heroes attacks, to gain some extra life as well. It'll extend that survivability in the early game while you build up to your game plan. Supply Crate is also a nice option to have for that as well. Just straight up gains 4 life if you want to play him more survivability. Spike Serpent's on here because it's nice for having that 3 damage to a target player. You can just drop it, deal some damage to your opponent, or get rid of a problematic character. Also from the Community Appreciation Pack, by the way. And of course, Super Coin is here as another option for draw if you don't like Jake's Net Search. You could even include both if you wanted. But yeah, that about does it for this deck. Thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and comment below and let me know if you wanted to build a similar deck, what kind of cards you'd use. I will be seeing you in the next video, and until then, take care.